Yesterday, a group of music fans attended a music concert. Here's the attendance list. How many music fans visited the concert? Which of the three numbers is correct? 1, 2, or 3? The numbers have one common property. They are prime numbers. Hello universe. This is Zahra M.M.A. Sadiq. The numbers on the list belong to a particular type of primes which are called Mersenne primes. The form of the Mersenne prime numbers is 2 to p-1. P is a prime. One exception is the number 2047. 2 to the prime 11-1 equals 2047. In spite of this, 23 times 89 equals 2047, and therefore this is not a prime number. It's a composite number. Mersenne prime numbers can be very large numbers. One example for a Mersenne prime is the mega prime 2 to 57,885,161, which consists of more than 17 million digits. The distances between the primes are irregular. In spite of this, prime numbers participate in the mathematical system of composite numbers. One example is the unproven Goldbach conjecture, which states that every even integer greater than 2 is the sum of two prime numbers. Primes participate in building blocks of whole numbers. Commerce websites often implement the encryption algorithms which take advantage of the difficulty to perform prime factorization of large primes. If the computers and quantum computers become faster or more effective, they are able to decompose larger numbers. It's important to test and secure the encryption algorithm. Many scientists study the sequence of prime gaps, and a lot of relations and conjectures remain unsolved. Mathematicians discovered conjectures about gaps between primes. I use a neural net to analyze the gaps between primes. Prime gaps are the difference between two successive prime numbers. Subsequently, I use the pattern which I detected to predict the next primes. I minimize the error function. I also analyze the gaps between primes and non-primes. Prime number analysis is a nonlinear task. Nonlinear equations appear in different forms. Nonlinear regression models the dependent variables as a nonlinear function of model parameters and one or more independent variables. The nonlinear regression relates x and y. X is a vector of independent variables. Y is a vector of the dependent variables. F is the function. Beta is the vector of parameters. I choose the nonlinear least squares optimization technique. The nonlinear least squares optimization uses the least squares technique to estimate the values of the unknown parameters. The method approximates the model by a linear model and refines the parameters by iterating the procedure. The distances between the primes are irregular. In spite of this, prime numbers participate in the mathematical system of composite numbers. I use a neural net to analyze the gaps between primes. Prime gaps are the difference between two successive prime numbers. Prime number analysis is a nonlinear task. Nonlinear equations appear in different forms. Nonlinear regression models the dependent variables as a nonlinear function of model parameters and one or more independent variables.